Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into something a bit different, the administrative afterlife of Tokyo, you could say.
That's a good way to put it.
We're investigating a place you won't find on a current map, but its history, still very much alive. We're talking about the former Eastfuchie Village Higashifuchie Mura out in Adachi Ward.
Yeah, it's a really interesting area because, Adachi Ward today, it looks like typical modern Tokyo on the surface.
Right, just streets and buildings.
Exactly. But our sources talk about it having this kind of twilight quality. If you sort of shift your perspective, you start seeing the history, the art, the traditions hidden beneath.
The space between past and present, fact and fantasy, as one source put it.
Precisely. History scattered in these little hidden corners.
And we've got these fascinating details about this vanished district. It officially stopped existing in 1932, right? Got swallowed up by Tokyo City?
That's right. And the village itself wasn't even that old, formed in 1889 by merging 6 smaller, older villages, places like Oyata, Sano, Shinden.
So our mission today is to navigate that twilight. We want to uncover some of the really surprising stories from this lost village.
And importantly, point you towards the actual physical spots. The hidden gems, maybe a park, a monument, even an old building where you can still connect with its legacy today.
Okay, let's start with what you called the administrative ghosts. When a village dissolves, you'd think its main office, the Moryakuba, would just disappear.
You would think. But this is where it gets interesting right away. There is an official marker, a stone monument, near where the Ogata fire station is now, in Higashiwa. That tells you where the center was.
Okay, so the location is marked, but the actual building, torn down.
No. And this is, I think, a really cool bit of history. Parts of the actual village office building were carefully taken down and moved.
Moved? Where?
Today, that relocated structure is still standing and still being used. It's the Sumida Neighborhood Association meeting hall over in the Nakagawa area.
Get out. So the building that ran Eastfuchie Village is now hosting, what, community meetings? Potlucks?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Still serving the community decades later. It's this tangible link.
Yeah.
The village government is gone, but a piece of its physical heart carries on.
That's genuinely amazing. It's like the administrative soul just found a new job.
Exactly. It proves that dissolving a place on paper doesn't mean it's completely erased from the ground.
Okay, so to really get Eastfuchie, we need to go way back. Before 1889, before the villages merged. Back to when this land was first made.
Right. We're talking 4 centuries ago. Tokugawa Ieyasu's era, massive land reclamation projects. This area was basically swamps and wetlands.
Hard to imagine now.
Totally. And we have stories of the pioneers who made it happen. First up, Sanoshinzu Tananobu. He was a samurai.
A samurai turned land developer.
Sort of, yeah. Around 1593, he established Sanoshinden, literally carving out farmland where there was just wet, difficult ground.
That's quite a career change. From warrior to, well, mud wrestler, essentially.
It must have taken incredible grit.
Did he leave any physical trace besides the name Sano Shinden?
He absolutely did. And this is one of those hidden gems. If you go to the Sano Ikoinomori green space today, you're actually standing in what was his original residential forest. His Yashiki-bayashi.
Yashiki-bayashi. That was like a practical thing back then, wasn't it? Trees for windbreaks, resources, maybe holding the ground together.
Oh, absolutely. It was a survival necessity in that kind of harsh, newly claimed land. But what's amazing is how it transformed.
How so?
It kept its original character so well that in 1974, it became Adachi Ward's first designated protected tree growth area.
Wow. So it went from a practical necessity
to a valued ecological habitat. It now protects rare plants, insects, birds. It's this incredible shift.
That's the real story, isn't it? The thing they built for survival centuries ago is now cherished for conservation. But you mentioned access is limited.
Right, good point. Because it's protected, it's only open on Wednesdays and Sundays, something for visitors to keep in mind.
Okay. So Sano Shinzu gave us farmland and a future forest. Who else was foundational?
The other key figure is Asada Chonjimon. He founded Chochimon Shinden, which is now part of the Nakagawa area, a bit later, during the Kichu period, so roughly 1596 to 1614.
And with settlements come spiritual needs, right? A center for the community's faith.
Exactly. Chochimon founded Saikoin Temple, still there today in Nakagawa.
And what's special about Saikoin?
It houses the Tadatsuna Cannon, sometimes called the Field Light Cannon. And the story of how it was found is just pure local folklore.
Oh, I like these stories. Go on.
Well, the legend says a farmer was out working, and his horse just kept stopping, refused to move, always at the same spot in the field.
A stubborn horse.
Apparently. And after this happened repeatedly, the farmer investigated the spot and dug up this statue, a naturally shaped piece of wood resembling cannon.
No way! The village's guardian deity, its spiritual rock, was discovered because of a horse having a moment.
That's the story. It's wonderfully human, isn't it?
Yeah.
It grounds this big historical narrative in something relatable, almost funny. And this Tadasuna cannon became the protector for this new, fragile settlement. Today, it's officially recognized a registered, tangible folk cultural asset of Adachi Ward.
It shows you need more than just an office. You need belief, you need stories to hold a place together.
Absolutely, both are vital.
Okay, let's jump forward in time. East Fuchie didn't just get founded, it actually had a kind of golden age, didn't it, before urbanization really took over?
It really did. A short but pretty brilliant one, especially in industry and agriculture. Let's talk about the imperial strawberry.
Okay, that sounds fancy, like something out of a novel.
It does, but it was real. Around 1930, early Showa era, East Fuchie was a major center for high-end greenhouse farming in Tokyo. They grew this specific variety called Fukuba Ichigo.
Fukuba strawberry. And it was special.
Very. Our sources say it was derived from a French variety and is basically the ancestor of most modern cultivated Japanese strawberries. Think premier, luxury fruit.
Luxury how? Like, expensive?
Yeah. Extremely. They were shipped straight to the fancy markets in Ginza. And get this, records show they were actually presented to the emperor and empress.
Wow. Imperial strawberries from East Fuchie greenhouses. That's unexpected prestige for a place built on reclaimed marshland.
Isn't it? But that success was tragically brief.
What happened?
Urbanization. The village got absorbed into Tokyo City in 1932. The pressure for land was immense. By 1935, just a few years after hitting its peak, the Fukuba strawberry cultivation just stopped. Gone.
Wiped out that quickly. Wow.
Brilliant flash, then paved over, essentially.
So you had delicate imperial fruit on one hand, but the area also had some heavier industry, right? Something about clay.
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin. The area had excellent Arakita clay, especially along the Naka River.
Good for pottery?
Or good for tiles and bricks. Starting around 1909, a serious tile and brick manufacturing industry popped up. By 1926, there were 14 tile makers operating in East Fuchie alone.
14. So it was a proper local industry, building materials for a growing Tokyo.
Exactly. It was part of the area's economic backbone.
Did that industry vanish as fast as the strawberries?
Not quite as fast, maybe, but just as completely in the end. It dwindled down, and the tradition eventually rested on one man.
The last artisan.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Shuichi Moto from the Sugimoto Oni-gawara shop. He specialized in oni-gawara.
Oni-gawara, those are the decorative roof tiles, right? The demon faces on temples and stuff.
That's them. Highly skilled work. He was literally the last one carrying on this local craft tradition.
Was his skill recognized?
Oh, yes. He was designated a registered intangible cultural property by Adachi Ward in 1982 for his oni-gawara technique. A living treasure, essentially.
But even that couldn't save the trade.
Sadly, no. The shop, which was in Nakagawa, finally closed its doors in 1993. And that was it. The end of East Fuchie's tile-making heritage.
It's quite sobering. World-class fruit, unique artisan skills, both gone relatively quickly under the pressure of the city expanding.
It really shows how fragile these local economies and traditions can be.
But let's end on a more positive transformation. Something that took an old piece of infrastructure and made it new again. The waterway.
Ah, yes, the Hachikamuraku Otoshi-bori. This might be the most visible win for the ghost village, in a way.
Okay, what was it originally? Otoshi-bori sounds like drainage canal?
That's exactly what it was. Remember, this was low-lying wetland. So back in the Edo period, they dug this canal, the 8-village drainage canal, purely for water management.
To drain the bad water, as the sources say. Just get rid of excess water from 8 local villages.
Precisely. It was a purely functional ditch, utilitarian infrastructure, necessary for survival.
Okay, so a big ditch. What is it now?
Now, it's the Hachikamura Otoshi Shinsui Ryokudo. It's been completely reimagined.
Which translates to?
Roughly the 8-village drainage canal recreational waterway promenade. It's a 2.3-kilometer greenway, a park basically built along the old canal path.
So they turned a drainage sewer into a park. That's actually brilliant.
It really is. It's now this lovely integrated public space, trees, paths, maybe some water features, a total transformation.
And this wasn't just some local project, it got wider recognition.
It did. It won a National Hometown Craftsmanship Award back in 1992, acknowledged for turning that essential survival tool into a modern community asset.
It shows the village's legacy isn't just about preserving things exactly as they were, but also about smart adaptation, using the bones of the past for the present.
That's a great way to put it.
So if someone listening is intrigued by all these stories, the pioneers, the cannon, the strawberries, the tiles, the canal, is there one place that ties it all together?
Yes, the central hub for all this history is the Adachi City Museum of Local History. It's in the Ojata area.
And they cover East Fuchi.
Definitely. They have exhibits, models recreating the landscape from the Edo and Showa periods, archives. They're the place that holds the memory of the Fukuba strawberry industry, for example. It really pulls the threads together.
Sounds like the perfect place to visit after hearing all this. But
But
there's a very important but right now, isn't there?
there is, yes, a crucial advisory for anyone planning a trip soon. The museum is currently closed for major renovations.
Until when?
The reopening is scheduled for March 2025. So, unfortunately, it's not accessible right now.
And that affects something else nearby, too.
It does. Right next to the museum is the Toubutrain Garden, or Higashifuchie. It's a beautiful, traditional Japanese garden, free entry, designed by Kenzo Ogata. It even has a lovely tea house, the Rinante.
Also closed during the museum renovation?
Yes. Unfortunately, the garden access is tied to the museum status, so both are off limits until March 2025.
Okay, so a bit of patience is needed for that full experience, but good to know it's there for the future.
Absolutely. Once it reopens, that museum and garden complex is the perfect spot to really soak in the atmosphere of this layered history. The garden itself is another gem.
What an incredible tour through a place that technically doesn't exist. We found pioneer ghosts in protected woods, a sacred statue found by a horse, acres of imperial strawberries and lost crafts, and a ditch reborn as an award-winning park.
It really highlights how the physical end of East Fuchie Village in 1932 wasn't the end of its story. Its cultural memory just got fragmented, scattered across these modern landmarks, parks, and institutions in Adachi.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. It raises that question. When a place gets wiped off the map by development, what does it actually take? What kind of effort for its history to be remembered, valued, and maybe even reborn in useful new ways?
And it circles back to that twilight idea, that feeling in Adachi where past and present, fact and fantasy seem to blur.
Exactly.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. Next time you're walking through a city, any city, and you see a quiet little park or an unusually old tree or a community hall that seems to have a bit of history, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, what ghost village might be hiding right under your feet, just waiting for its story to be rediscovered?